Are you familiar with the process of phagocytosis? It is the process by which cells such as amoeba engulfs its food whole. But do you know some of them are capable of nibbling through the cells? In today's video, we are going to be seeing one such organism with nibbles through the cells, which is Entamoeba histolytica. This is a monogenetic parasite, which means it is going to infest only one host. It is carried by mechanical vectors like flies and cockroaches. It causes amoebic dysentery or amoebiasis in man. It's usually seen in the tropics and the subtropical regions and prevalent in densely populated areas where the hygiene conditions are poor. Entamoeba has three structures. The first is the trophozoite, which lives in the mucosa and the submucosa of the large intestine. The cell is surrounded by plasmalemma. The cytoplasm is clearly differentiated into two zones. First is the clear, viscous, non-granular outer ectoplasm. And then we have the granular, fluid-like inner endoplasm. It has a number of ribosomes as well as food vacuoles. Because it feeds on the tissues of the large intestine using the enzyme histolysin, we can find RBCs as well as bacteria within its food vacuoles. It also has a nucleus which is cartwheel shaped, but it does not have a contractile vacuole, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi, or mitochondria. This indicates that this pathogen is an obligate anaerobe. Trophozoite is an active, motile, as well as pathogenic state, and it uses a blunt pseudopodium called as the lobopodium to move. The presence of food vacuole with RBC and bacteria, as well as the cartwheel-shaped nucleus, are the characteristic features of this stage. The next stage is the precystic stage, which is found in the lumen of the large intestine. It is a non-feeding, non-pathogenic, as well as a non-motile form. It is small and spherical. Because it is non-feeding, it has glycogen granules as well as chromatid bars as its food reserves. And finally, we have the cystic stage, which is again found in the lumen of the large intestine. This cell is surrounded by a round, thin, delicate, as well as a highly resistant cyst by the process of encystation. This cyst helps the cell to survive unfavorable conditions like extreme pH changes as it passes through the digestive system of a new host. Immediately after encystation, the cell undergoes two successive mitotic divisions, which results in four daughter nuclei. This stage is called as the tetranucleate stage or the mature cyst. This is the stage of the entamoeba which infects man. Now, how do these three stages create an elaborate infection in man? Let's take a look. Entamoeba resides in the digestive system, specifically in the small as well as in the large intestine of man. The organism enters humans through contaminated food and water. It enters the human in the cystic stage. Because of the cyst, the cell is protected from the harsh acidic conditions of the stomach. When the cell reaches alkaline environment of the small intestine, the cyst ruptures in the presence of enzyme like trypsin. It then releases the amoeba. The released amoeba is called as the excystic or the metacyst. Four nuclei within the metacyst undergoes mitotic division to give rise to 8 daughter entamoebae or metacystic trophozoite. Because they are motile, they are able to migrate from the small intestine to the large intestine. This is the columnar epithelium of the large intestine along with its submucosa. The metacystic trophozoites in the large intestine enter into a feeding stage called trophozoites. They invade the mucosal membrane of the large intestine. They dissolve this lining using the enzyme called as histolysin. They go deeper into the submucosa and cause ulcers. The ulcer contains cell debris, lymphocytes, RBC, as well as bacteria. It leads to the formation of abscess on the intestinal walls. The stool that passes through this area gets coated with all these substances. Ultimately, it results in stool with blood and mucus, and this condition is called as amoebic dysentery, intestinal amoebiasis, or tropical amoebiasis. The stool carries the cyst. Within the walls of the large intestine, the trophozoites feed and they grow in size. Some of these trophozoites become mature trophozoites. The trophozoites undergo continuous binary fission. As they divide within the walls of the intestine, some of them enter into the lumen and transform into the precystic stage. Precystic stage then transforms into the cystic stage, which in turn develops into the tetranucleate cyst. This process is complete within few hours. The tetranucleate cyst is the form which comes out along with the fecal matter, and it can remain alive for 10 days. They can contaminate food and water, and if it is ingested by a new host, they end up getting the infection. This is summary of the life cycle that we have been discussing up until now. We saw that some of the dividing trophozoites become mature trophozoites, right? These cells can invade and rupture the walls of capillaries and enter into different organs. They primarily enter into the liver where they cause abscess. They can also go to the lungs, heart, brain, kidney, and even gonads where they cause abscesses. This is called as secondary amoebiasis and it is a severe pathological condition. While this is the case with most of the people, there are some who have absolutely no symptoms, but their stool contains a tetranucleate cyst. They are called asymptomatic cyst parsers and they are the ones who spread the parasite to other people. Now, how do we prevent amoebiasis? First, we should always use boiled as well as filtered water. We have to wash our hands, fruits, as well as the vegetables that we eat. Finally, we have to use toilets that are attached to a proper septic tank so there is no overflow of waste matter.